King Von, the fallen king of rap, the Chirac Grim Reaper, and the demon of Chicago. Throughout King Von's great and successful career, he still had a lot of running with the law. While he was young, after he was an adult, and even after making it out of O Block. In this video, we will go over the serious encounters King Von has faced with the law, with some of these encounters landing him in jail to serve hefty sentences throughout his youth and adulthood. And I always wish a warm welcome to everybody who's tuning into KDJ Uncovers. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're messing with the video. It really helps me out. King Von, born 9th August 1994 as Davon Daquan Bennett, was raised in O Block where he met his lifelong friend, who the rap world and main media know as Lil Durk and Chief Keef. The Parkway Gardens, also known as O Block, is a housing projects on the south side of Chicago, Illinois, filled with crime, corruption, and murder. This very environment shaped King Von into who he became as an adult and how he behaves, which is mostly recognized in his very detailed storytelling type music style.
Police steady watching me, every day they clocking me, red alert, armed and dangerous.
That was Armed and Dangerous by King Von, which currently stands at over 160 million views.
Now here it go, I just made it home, missed calls on my phone, see I've been gone.
Now this one right here was Crazy Story Part 3, which currently sits at 170 million views, even over that number.
Got no cake, I still got her phone, she taking too long, she get loose, she...
Now this song right here is one of the fans' most favorite, and probably a song you already heard at a function or a party. Now this is Took Her to the O by King Von, which currently sits at 380 million views. Davon Daquan Bennett's childhood was far from easy. His father, Walter Ewell Bennett, better known in the streets as Silk, was a respected figure among his friends, brothers, and homies on the block. But Silk was often in and out of jail, spending more time involved in street activity and being a present father to his young son, Davon Daquan Bennett's life. Instead of guiding Von in the right direction, Silk's lifestyle became another example of how deep the streets ran in their family. That presence would be completely taken away when Von was only 11 years old. Silk was tragically killed in a Chicago shootout that left 6 bystanders dead and 3 others seriously injured, including a fatal car crash for a family of 4. Losing his father at such a young age left a permanent scar on Von and pushed him even further towards the gang and street life. There were older people around him, mentors who knew better, who tried to keep Von from jumping off the porch. They saw where the streets led and tried to warn him, but for Von, this wasn't just about gangbanging. The streets represented brotherhood, loyalty, and survival. These were the same people he struggled with, laughed with, and lost friends with. They were his family when he didn't have a father figure to lean on. King Von eventually became heavily affiliated with the Black Disciples, also known as the BDs, a well-known Chicago street gang, primarily operating in the O Block area. The BDs are traditionally associated with blue and black colors, and representing the gang was taken extremely seriously. One of the most infamous examples was when Von tweeted about a rival gang member named Mo Dale, who was killed at a party that was shot up in the south side of Chicago. The incident left Mo Dale and 3 other GD members dead at the scene. These posts only added to Von's reputation as someone deeply entrenched in the street life, unafraid of consequences, and fully committed to the war happening in Chicago at the time. King Von's first real run-in with the law came when he was still just a teenager. Around the age of 16, Vaughn was already deep in the streets, and that lifestyle quickly caught attention of law enforcement. His earliest charges were tied to robbery-seeded incidents, making the beginning of what would become a long and complicated relationship with the criminal justice system of Chicago. Because of his age, Vaughn was sent to juvenile detention, but instead of serving as a wake-up call, it became his introduction to a system he would spend years trapped in. From that point forward, a pattern began to form, getting locked up, getting released, and then getting arrested all over again. For Vaughn, jail wasn't an occasional setback, it became a regular part of his life. As he got older, the charges became more serious. Vaughn later spoke openly about catching multiple gun cases, admitting that it felt like he practically grew up in the system. Courtrooms, jail cells, and probation came familiar territory, and each arrest pushed him further towards the identity he was building in the streets. One of Vaughn's most serious cases came when he was just 19 years old. In 2014, he was charged with first-degree murder, along with 2 counts of attempted murder, all connected to a shooting that took place in Inglewood, Chicago, an area known for intense gang violence. These charges alone were enough to end most people's futures and careers. Vaughn was taken off the streets and held in jail for nearly 3.5 years, waiting for his case to go to trial. During this time, his life was completely on pause. No freedom, no music career, no guarantee he would ever walk free again. He was facing the very real possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars, locked up, with no support. But as the case dragged on, things began to fall apart for the prosecution. Due to lack of physical evidence and witnesses refusing to cooperate, the case slowly weakened. And in 2017, after years of sitting in jail, fighting for his life, King Vaughn finally beat the case and walked free. That moment marked a major turning point. For the first time, Vaughn had a second chance, and instead of diving back into the streets, his focus began shifting towards music. Everything he had lived through up to that point, the jail time, the violence, the losses, the gang banging, would later become the raw material for the storytelling that made him famous. But even after beating the murder case, the streets weren't done with King Vaughn. After beating that case in 2014, King Vaughn was finally a free man again. After spending years locked up behind bars fighting a case that could have ended his life and his potential career that he could have had with rapping at that time, Vaughn walked out with something most people in his position never got: a second chance. In this time, things started to shift. Instead of going all in the streets again, Vaughn began spending more time around Lil Durk, who was already making a name for himself in the rap industry. Durk saw something in Vaughn, not just another guy from the block, but someone with real stories, real experiences, and a voice that people would listen to. At first, Vaughn wasn't even taking rap seriously like that, but once he stepped into the booth and started telling his stories, it became clear this was different. Everything he went through, the losses, the jail time, the gang banging and pain, it all translated into his music, and that's what made people connect with him so quickly. It wasn't just rap, it was real life being told bar for bar, verse for verse, with no misses. Songs like Crazy Story, Armed and Dangerous, and Took It to the O put Vaughn on the map, and from there, his rise was real fast. Millions of views, a growing fan base, and a name that started ringing far beyond Chicago. But even with the fame, the money, and the success, his past never fully left him. The same life that built him was always right behind him, and that's what makes the story so powerful. From a misguided kid growing up in O-Block, surrounded by violence, loss, and gangbanging, to facing serious charges and spending years in jail, to beating a case and turning his life into music and art. King Von's story, alongside Lil Durk and Chief Keef, are one of the realest stories to ever come out the streets of Chicago. And whether you see this as a product of his environment or a reflection of the streets he came from, one thing is real undeniable: his story left a mark in the main rap world that we have today. And if you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you using your time to sit through it all. This was the first video of my new channel, KDJ Uncovers, and I will be posting new videos every week, so stay tuned. The next video is already in the works, and it will be about a rapper we all love. We know him as the one and only Don Dada, Top Shotter, or the voice of the youth. The real ones know who I mean, so comment that down below. And for my final words, I appreciate everyone tuning into KDJ Uncovers. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And it's your boy KDJ, and I'm logging out. Swag.